Discovery. The Magellan, a sleek human exploration vessel, glided through the inky darkness of deep space. Captain Talia Vance stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the holographic display showing their destination, a distant, uncharted planet known only as Kepler 1649c. "Captain, we're picking up some strange readings from the surface," reported the ship's sensor officer, Lieutenant Kai Nakamura. "It looks like artificial structures." Talia's brow furrowed. Artificial structures. Out here. She turned to her first officer. "Commander Riker, assemble an away team. I want to know what's down there." Commander Zara Riker nodded crisply. "Aye, Captain." She tapped her comm badge. Away team to the transporter room. Minutes later, Zara led a team of scientists and security officers through the ruins of an ancient alien city. Towering spires of iridescent metal arced into the violet sky, their surfaces etched with intricate, flowing script. "Look at this place," breathed Dr. Lena Sorensen, the ship's chief archaeologist. "It must have been abandoned for millennia, but the level of technology here is beyond anything we've encountered." As they explored deeper into the ruins, they discovered what appeared to be a vast library, filled with strange crystalline data storage devices. Dr. Sorensen carefully extracted one and connected it to her tricorder. Her eyes widened as information flooded the screen. "This is incredible. Star maps, historical records, cultural archives. This could rewrite our understanding of the galaxy." But as she scrolled through the data, her excitement turned to concern. "Oh no. Commander, you need to see this." Zara appeared at the tricorder. It displayed a star map with Earth highlighted in pulsing red, labeled Class 13 Deathworld. Accompanying notes detailed the planet's myriad hazards, from venomous creatures to volatile weather patterns. A Class 13 Deathworld. But that would mean... Zara's voice trailed off as the implications sank in. "It means the galactic community considers humans to be one of the most dangerous species in known space," Dr. Sorensen said grimly. "This classification could have serious repercussions for Earth's standing on the intergalactic stage." Zara tapped her comm badge. "Away team to Magellan. Captain, we found something you need to see, and I think Earth is going to need an ambassador." Back on the ship, Talia studied the alien records with growing concern. She turned to Zara. "Commander Riker, it seems you have a new mission. We need you to represent Earth at the Galactic Summit and convince them that humans are more than just a hazard to be feared." Zara nodded resolutely, though a flicker of trepidation showed in her eyes. "I'll do my best, Captain. But overturning a Deathworld classification, that's going to be an uphill battle." As the Magellan set course for the heart of the galaxy, Zora pored over the alien archives, preparing herself for the diplomatic challenge ahead. The fate of Earth's intergalactic future now rested on her shoulders. The summit, the Great Hall of the Galactic Council, was a cavernous, awe-inspiring space. Soaring walls of polished obsidian arched up to a ceiling that sparkled with holographic star maps, each one representing a member species of the Council. In the center of the hall, a circular stage hosted a spirited debate, with ambassadors from a dozen worlds arguing back and forth. But as Commander Zora Riker strode in, flanked by her human delegation, a hush fell over the assembled representatives. "The Council recognizes the esteemed ambassador from Earth," trilled the adjudicator, a willowy being with luminous skin. "Commander Riker, you have the floor." Zara mounted the stage, her heart pounding beneath her composure. She took a deep breath and began. "Honored counselors, I come before you today to challenge Earth's designation as a Class 13 Deathworld. While it's true that our planet harbors many dangers, it is also a crucible that has forged human resilience, ingenuity, and adaptability. These are qualities that we believe can enrich the galactic community, not threaten it." A murmur rippled through the hall. The Kelpian ambassador, a stately figure with a crest of fine, silvery filaments, spoke up. "Forgive me, Commander, but humanity's history is steeped in conflict and strife. Your world wars, your atomic weapons. How can we trust a species with such a violent past? Zara met the Kelpian's gaze steadily. It's true, our history has been marked by conflict. But it's also a story of overcoming those dark chapters. Each time we faced existential threats, from war to pandemic to ecological collapse, we found ways to unite, to cooperate, to forge a better path forward. Our resilience is a strength, not a liability. The debate raged on, with Zara deftly fielding questions and counterpoints. She spoke of humanity's boundless curiosity, the driving force behind their scientific breakthroughs. She highlighted acts of extraordinary compassion and self-sacrifice, from rescue workers braving disaster zones to scientists dedicating their lives to curing diseases. Humanity's greatest asset is our diversity, she argued passionately. Just as Earth's myriad ecosystems give rise to wondrous adaptations, the spectrum of human cultures and perspectives fuels our creativity and problem-solving. We could be valuable allies and contributors to the galactic community. But even as some counselors started to nod thoughtfully, others remained unconvinced. The Zorgan representative, a hulking, reptilian being, slammed a clawed fist on his podium. Pretty words, Commander, but they don't erase the facts. Your world is a death trap, and your species is a menace. The Council would be irresponsible not to contain the human threat. Zara opened her mouth to retort, but was cut off by a blaring alarm. The adjudicator's eyes went wide. An emergency distress signal from Epsilon Station. A hush fell over the hall as a holoprojection sprang to life, showing a crippled space station venting atmosphere into the void. Panicked alien voices crackled over the comms. This is Epsilon Station. Reactor breach imminent. Life support failing. Need immediate evacuation. The Council erupted into chaos, with representatives shouting over each other. It's too dangerous to mount a rescue. We have to do something. There's not enough time. Amidst the tumult, Zora's voice cut through like a beacon. Counselors, my ship, the Magellan, is docked nearby. We have a team that can help with the evacuation. Let us prove that humanity can be a force for good in this galaxy. The adjudicator hesitated for a heartbeat, then nodded decisively. Go, Commander Riker. Show us what humanity is truly capable of. As Zara raced from the hall, a ripple of change stirred the galactic winds. The Deathworlders were about to make their mark. Disaster strikes. Commander Zora Riker charged onto the bridge of the Magellan, adrenaline coursing through her veins. Status report, she barked. Epsilon Station's reactor is going critical, replied Lieutenant Nakamura, his fingers flying over the sensor console. Estimate showed total structural failure in less than 30 minutes. Zara gritted her teeth. It would be tight, but they had to try. Helm, lay in a course for Epsilon Station, maximum warp. Lieutenant Nakamura, coordinate with the station's damage control teams. I want to know exactly what we're flying into. As the Magellan hurtled through space, Zara assessed her crew. They were young, diverse, and fiercely dedicated, a microcosm of the best humanity had to offer. She just hoped it would be enough. Commander, I'm detecting multiple hull breaches and failing life support systems, Nakamura reported grimly. The station's escape pods are launching, but there are still hundreds of life forms trapped on board. Zara turned to her security chief. Lieutenant Commander Sato, assemble a rescue team. We're going in. The Magellan dropped out of warp, the crippled form of Epsilon Station looming in the view screen. Gouts of plasma vented from ruptured conduits, and the telltale shimmer of atmospheric containment fields flickered weakly. In the transporter room, Zora donned an EVA suit alongside Sato's team. She checked her helmet seal and gave a resolute nod. Energize. The rescue team materialized in the station's devastated central hub, debris and sparking wreckage littering the space. Alien screams echoed through the compromised corridors. Fan out and lead survivors to the escape pods, Zara ordered. And stay sharp. There's no telling what hazards this place holds now. As they navigated the treacherous, labyrinthine station, the human rescuers confronted scene after scene of chaos and desperation. They used hand phasers to cut through blocked passageways, braved electrified bulkheads to reach trapped civilians, and even jury-rigged failing life support units with scavenged parts. Zara found herself in a damaged medical bay, helping a group of terrified patients into EVA suits. A Zorelian child clung to her arm, its bioluminescent eyes wide with fear. "Please, don't leave me." "I won't," Zora promised, scooping the child up. "We're getting you out of here." But as they raced for the escape pods, a massive tremor rocked the station. "Commander," Sato's voice crackled over the comms. "The reactor's gone critical. We've got minutes at best." Zara made a split-second decision. "All teams, get to the escape pods now. I'm heading to the reactor control room." "But Commander." "That's an order, Lieutenant Commander." Zara sprinted through the deteriorating station, the Zorelian child tucked close to her chest. She reached the control room and frantically scanned the readouts. The reactor was past the point of no return, but if she could just divert the meltdown to the station's ejectable core. With seconds to spare, she slammed the override controls. A deep rumble shook the station as the reactor core jettisoned into space, erupting in a blinding flash of energy. Zara sagged against the console, her heart pounding. She tapped her comm badge. "Riker to Magellan. The reactor core has been ejected. All survivors accounted for." "Affirmative, Commander," came the relieved response. "We're picking up escape pods now." "You did it." As Zara shepherded the Zorelian child to safety, she allowed herself a moment of grim satisfaction. The Deathworlders had shown their mettle today, but the fight for Earth's place in the galaxy was far from over. Tentative alliance. In the aftermath of the Epsilon Station disaster, the mood in the Galactic Council chamber was one of stunned disbelief. The once skeptical delegates now looked upon Commander Zora Riker and her human compatriots with a mix of awe and grudging respect. "Commander Riker," the adjudicator began, their voice solemn, "the Council extends its deepest gratitude for your heroic actions. The lives you saved today will not be forgotten." Zara inclined her head. "We did what any species with the capacity to help would have done. Compassion and courage are not unique to humanity." The Kelpian ambassador rose, filament crest shimmering. "Indeed, Commander. Your actions have given us much to consider. Perhaps there is more to humanity than the dangers of your world." A murmur of agreement rippled through the chamber, and Zara felt a spark of hope. Maybe this was the turning point Earth needed. But even as tentative alliances began to form, a new threat lurked in the shadows. In a darkened corner of the station, a clandestine meeting was taking place. "The humans cannot be allowed to gain a foothold," hissed the Zorgan representative, his reptilian eyes glinting. "They are a virus, a blight upon the galaxy." His co-conspirators, a cadre of hawkish delegates from various species, nodded in agreement. The Malaxian ambassador, a spindly creature with a crown of prehensile spines, spoke up. "What do you propose, Zorgan?" The Zorgan bared his fangs in a predatory grin. "We sabotage their diplomatic efforts. Stage an attack, make it look like the humans are responsible. Then the Council will have no choice but to classify them as a threat to be contained." As the conspirators plotted, Zara and her team worked tirelessly to build bridges. She met with the Kelpian delegation, sharing stories of Earth's oceanic wonders and the humans who dedicated their lives to preserving them. She sparred with the Zorelian guards, demonstrating human martial arts and the discipline they instilled. She even shared a meal with the Malaxian ambassador, introducing them to the rich tapestry of Earth's culinary traditions. Slowly but surely, perceptions began to shift. The once monolithic view of humanity as a savage, warlike species started to give way to a more nuanced understanding. But just as progress was being made, disaster struck. A diplomatic shuttle carrying the joint human-Kelpian delegation was attacked, killing all on board. The evidence seemed damning. Human weapon signatures were detected at the scene. The council was in an uproar. The Zorgan representative pounced on the opportunity, his voice dripping with venom. You see, this is the true face of humanity. Violent, untrustworthy, a cancer to be excised. Zara reeled, struggling to process the news. It couldn't be true. It didn't make sense. Why would humans attack their own fledgling allies? She turned to her Malaxian contact, desperate for answers. To her surprise, the ambassador pulled her aside, a look of furtive urgency on their face. Commander Riker, there is something you must know. This attack, it is not what it seems. With the Malaxians' help, Zara and her team raced to uncover the truth. They pored over sensor logs, analyzed forensic data, and pieced together a web of deceit that led straight to the Zorgan's door. As the evidence mounted, Zara knew she had to act fast. The Council was on the brink of a decision that could seal Earth's fate. She just hoped she could expose the truth in time. The stage was set for a showdown that would determine the course of human-galactic relations for generations to come. In the balance hung not just Earth's future, but the very soul of the galaxy itself. Judgment Day, the Great Hall of the Galactic Council, was a crucible of tension as Commander Zara Riker strode to the center of the chamber, a holographic projector in hand. The eyes of 100 worlds were upon her, suspicion and hostility etched on alien faces. Esteemed counselors, Zara began, her voice ringing with conviction. I come before you today not to plead for humanity's innocence, but to unveil a truth that has been hidden for too long. With a flick of her wrist, the hologram sprang to life, displaying the twisted wreckage of the diplomatic shuttle. This attack was not the work of humans, but of those who seek to sow discord and fear among us. The Zorgan representative surged to his feet, scales bristling with indignation. Lies. The evidence is clear. Humanity's guilt is beyond question. Zara met the Zorgan's glare unflinchingly. Is it, Ambassador? Or have you been blinded by your own prejudice? She tapped the projector, and a new image formed, a schematic of the weaponry used in the attack. These are indeed of human design, but they are also obsolete, phased out of our arsenal decades ago. No human ship or colony in this sector would have access to them. A ripple of confusion spread through the council. The adjudicator leaned forward, luminous eyes narrowed. What are you implying, Commander Riker? I am not implying, adjudicator. I am stating facts. Zora's voice was steel. These weapons were planted to frame humanity, and the ones responsible, she turned to face the Zorgan delegation, are in this very room. As the chaos reached a crescendo, Zara raised her voice above the din. We have proof. She activated the hologram once more, and a series of intercepted transmissions began to play. The Zorgan's guttural tones were unmistakable, detailing the plot to sabotage the human-Kelpian alliance. Gasps of shock and murmurs of revulsion echoed through the chamber as the extent of the conspiracy was laid bare. The adjudicator's voice cut through the tumult like a blade. Ambassador Zorgan, what say you to these accusations? The Zorgan's eyes darted left and right, seeking support from his co-conspirators. But one by one, they averted their gazes, slinking back into the shadows. Realization dawned on the reptilian visage. He had been abandoned. It is a fabrication. The Zorgan blustered, desperation creeping into his tone. The humans have manipulated this data to smear my good name. Zara shook her head sadly. Your name is already stained, Ambassador, by your own actions. Your prejudice blinded you to the truth of what humanity could offer this galaxy, and in your fear, you were willing to condemn an entire species. The adjudicator rose, their presence commanding the room. In light of this evidence, the Council moves to exonerate humanity of wrongdoing in the shuttle attack. Furthermore, Ambassador Zorgan and his co-conspirators are to be placed under immediate arrest for their crimes against galactic peace. As the Zorgan delegation was led away in disgrace, Zara turned to face the Council once more. Esteemed counselors, this ordeal has taught us a valuable lesson. Fear and prejudice are the true enemies here, not any one species. Humanity's history on Earth has been one of strife, yes, but it has also been one of hope, of perseverance, and of unity in the face of adversity. She looked around the room, making eye contact with delegates she had come to know and respect. We are not perfect. No species is. But we are learning, growing, and striving to be better each day. All we ask is the chance to prove ourselves worthy partners in this great galactic community. The Kelpian ambassador rose, filaments waving in a gesture of respect. Commander Riker, your words ring true. The Council has much to discuss. May we adjourn to consider humanity's position. Hours later, Zara stood before the Council once more, her heart pounding in her chest as the adjudicator prepared to deliver the verdict. After much deliberation, it is the decision of this Council that Earth shall no longer be designated a Class 13 Deathworld. A collective gasp rippled through the chamber. Instead, in recognition of humanity's potential and the courage displayed by its representatives, Earth shall henceforth be known as a guardian world, a beacon of resilience, diversity, and the indomitable spirit needed to face the challenges of our galaxy. Cheers erupted from the human delegation, echoed by applause from their newfound allies. Zara felt tears of joy and relief welling in her eyes. They had done it. Against all odds, humanity had earned its place among the stars. In the days and weeks that followed, a new era dawned. Human ambassadors took their seats on the Galactic Council, their voices welcomed and respected. Scientific and cultural exchanges flourished, as the myriad species of the galaxy learned from and marveled at Earth's wonders. And at the forefront of this brave new future stood Commander Zara Riker, a shining example of the best humanity had to offer. She had come to the stars as an emissary of a death world. She had proven herself a guardian of life itself. As she gazed out at the star-studded expanse beyond the council chamber windows, Zara felt a profound sense of hope. The road ahead would not be easy. There would be challenges, misunderstandings, and old prejudices to overcome. But she knew with unshakable certainty that humanity would rise to meet them. For they were the children of Earth, forged in the crucible of a death world. And now, they would be the guardians of the galaxy. The end.